professors of military science, faculty, family, friends of Wheaton ROTC, Rolling Thunder Battalion cadets, and former Crusader Battalion cadets. It's great to be here on this amazing day, 60th anniversary of ROTC. It's an honor for this soldier that you asked me to be here. So there I was. Camp Adventure, advanced camp back in the day. Our platoon was together. The instructions were, stand up, state your name, your school, your mascot, and your motto. Start in the back. The guy next to me stood up. Cadet Wayne Westgard, Texas A&M, home of the Yankees. Woo! He said, woo! And I went, what was that? Woo! What kind of motto is woo? And then I was brought back to reality as, Cadet, I said you're next. And I stood up and I said, Cadet J. Tobin, Wheaton College, home of the Crusaders. And I couldn't remember our motto. We all know what our motto is, right? Say it with me. For Christ and His kingdom. Yep, that's it. That's not what I said. Wheaton College, home of the Crusaders. Repent or die. I was introduced to Wheaton ROTC in 1992 at a men's prayer breakfast at Main Post Chapel in Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. I was a Marine on leave visiting my best friend, Bill Springston, who was the youth pastor there. And I shared with that group that I wanted to go to a Christian college when I left the Marine Corps. And I asked for their prayers because I didn't know I would ever be able to afford it. And after we finished praying, a man came up to me and he asked, have you ever considered Army ROTC to help you get through school? And I said, sir, I'm a non-commissioned officer in the United States Marine Corps. No. And he said, well, my name is Lieutenant Colonel Bill France, and I'm the professor of military science at Wheaton College. You ought to consider it. And I did. I thought about it, and I checked it out. But before I did that day, Colonel France put his hand on my shoulder, and he offered up one of his infamous bullet prayers. That was the first of many bullet prayers he would share for me while I was a cadet at Wheaton. That day was a divine appointment for me, and I'm forever grateful, because Army ROTC was God's gateway to transformation and opportunity for me. In his book, The Cost of Discipleship, Dietrich Bonhoeffer wrote, when Christ calls a man, he bids him come and die. So there I was, standing in my first Army formation. The cadet battalion commander was standing in front of me, inspecting my uniform. And then he pointed at my boots, and he said, what is that? And I looked at him like he was an idiot. It's a dog tag. As a Marine, I'd wore dog tags in my boots for 6 years. And he said, well, that's not authorized. You're going to have to remove it. And anger came through me like fire. And I looked at him, and I said, it is authorized, and I won't remove it. And then he said, well, if you don't, I will. And I thought, I was a 23-year-old non-commissioned officer in the United States Marine Corps. I just left duty from an embassy in Cairo. Who does this punk think he is? And I said, I'd really like to see you try and do that. And a few seconds later, I was pulled off to the side by a caring, compassionate, patient, gracious category member. That was the beginning of transformation for me. And I have special thanks to the mature spiritual leaders in the ROTC department, the Bill Francis, and the Randy Carries, and the Brian Playsteds, and the Greg Solums, and the Jeff Gibsons, and the Bill Gizas. Thank you. Because ROTC opened up windows of opportunity. What should I do? Airborne? Air assault? Northern warfare? Maybe an educational delay. And then I learned that opportunities change you. Should I step through that door? Or do I walk on by? How am I supposed to decide? That process, that experience, it is transformational. And whether I choose wisely or poorly, in the end, the most important choice I ever make is to come and die. Now, Colonel Wheaton may not want "come and die" on your next ROTC t-shirt. People's false assumptions might get in the way of the intended meaning of the message. But I do hope that the Lord has written or is writing it on your hearts. He wrote it on mine here at Wheaton ROTC. And I believe that that truth prepared me well for the future. Because to be a follower of Jesus Christ in today's army, you have to come and die every day. Perhaps you joined ROTC for the money. You never wanted to be in the army. And now, you're on orders to Fort Benning. Or maybe you always dreamed of an Army career, but you weren't picked for active duty. I learned we have to choose our responses. We need to come and die. When you make a mistake, public or private, one that everybody knows about, or one you're sure no one will ever know about, except maybe you, your wife, your kids, your friends. When we mess up, we have a choice. I learned here the value of humility, the need to come and die. When your alarm goes off at 0:30 and you're tired and want to hit the snooze button. When that jump master gives you the sign for 30 seconds to green light and your fear of heights hits you hard once again. When something really, really bad goes down. And in the midst of the chaos, everyone's paralyzed with anger, or fear, or grief. They're lost and they're hopeless. I learned here that spiritual leaders step up and they're willing to come and die. Here in this ROTC department, I learned that if it's truly my desire to live my life as a soldier of God for Christ and His kingdom, every day